can find it. Hey everybody, we're back. Thanks for joining us. We'll get the chat rooms open soon. We've got some reverb, which is super awesome. It reminds me of Ozzy Osbourne concerts. Tonight we have obviously Paul with us, and then JC. Hello, fellas. How are y'all doing?
Living the
Top of the
dream.
world, Ma.
Living the
Man.
dream.
Paul, you got to check. I don't have the video. I didn't have time to grab it. Jared Isaacman, the guy that was gonna be the NASA head of NASA. He obviously
Right.
that didn't work out. No problems, no worries, right?
Well, only if
was-
your name is Elon Musk was it a problem? Yeah. All right.
Right. Well, he was so he was flying fighter jets over this little Wisconsin runway known as the Oshkosh Airport today, and he has got a wicked ass GoPro video from inside the cockpit that you have to check out.
Oh,
It's the biggest air show of the year.
you haven't
I,
play it.
I wish I had time to grab it. I didn't have time to grab it. It is wicked cool. Because the GoPro he has pans while he's flipping upside down. It pans like it's always showing the ground, and then occasionally he flips back over and it shows his face. It's a wicked cool video, and man, I wish I would have gone this year. It looks like a great show.
Oh,
P-51s, simulated P-51s chasing down U-252s. So simulated battle scenes or air fights. Paul, we gotta man. Next year we should probably just go.
dude, we should just go and do it together.
Yes.
Yeah. I thought about Tom Cruise with his totally rebuilt STC certified P-51 that he's got. That is just what a badass machine that thing is.
Yeah, I wish I had Tom Cruise money so I could also have a badass P-51 Mustang, a tank buster to just go ripping around town and be like, "Hey, look at me!"
Yeah, let's go, yeah. And he put like 10,000 plus in that Lycoming engine and hot rodded it up. You know, what's the P-51? 870, 890 horsepower? He pumped that up to like 1,200. That
Jesus.
thing is badass, dude.
I'm surprised we didn't see Jared Isaacman fly in that thing over Oshkosh.
Yeah.
You know what I have to
Really?
on a little bit of a serious note, and I'm not a big Hollywood watcher at all. Why is it that Tom Cruise is still the star? Isn't there anyone younger that can do anything?
No.
No.
That's like,
No.
come on. What happens
Dude.
when he passes on or a stunt goes bad? What are we supposed to do?
Well, but that all right. We're gonna have to just divulge for a few minutes into this because other than Tom Cruise, who plays the same character in every movie, but it's a great character. It's a great character. I saw a post just recently on X that said, why haven't you seen the new Jurassic Park movie?" And I replied, "Well, I watched the first 20. I'm assuming the next 20 Jurassic Park movies are all going to be the same as the first 20. Hollywood doesn't make new stuff anymore. None of it.
No.
It's going to be taken over by people behind a computer writing a movie into AI.
They're
No, so
afraid to take they're
all
afraid
of
to
the
take any
modern.
chances.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, they're afraid to take any chances. They won't venture outside of their comfort zone. So you get all these $100 million pieces of total crap. I mean, look at Superman. What a joke. Can you screw that up enough?
Oh, and the new Avengers and the new Fab Four. I mean, it's just, hey, we got a new CGI movie for you. There's no, and I hate to be discriminatory, but there's no more alpha males making alpha male movies.
That's not discriminatory. It's just you being a bigot, which I'm all here for.
Yeah,
I'm
but I mean,
totally in.
I mean,
Paul,
yeah,
you're
there's
among
no
you're
more
among friends. Yeah.
predator.
Look.
I mean,
This is the age of Trump. Okay, and if you aren't on board with that, it's not going to work. It's just not. I mean, just think
what?
about. Oh, no. Seriously, this is the age of Trump. And there's a conservative author. His name is Evan Sayet, Sayet. Of course, he was booted off Twitter as soon as he wrote this. But what he pointed out was that, oh yeah, I agree. Trump is vulgar. I agree. He's not proper. He's not presidential. But we've tried probity. We had Mitt Romney. We tried collegial. We had John McCain, reaching across the aisle. We had George Bush. There
Perfect.
couldn't be a more
Uh,
honorable man than George Bush. And we always end up the same way. And his point was, Trump is a wartime president, and he's the first wartime president in the culture war, the one that was called by Pat Buchanan in 1992. And he was pilloried, he was called names, he was denounced by all polite society. But the fact is that we needed somebody to take the fight to them, and this guy, I look, I'm a honk. I admit it. In fact, I don't know. Listen, let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever felt more comfortable when you go to the next day that the president's not going to betray you? Or that you're not going to lose liberty today, or that if something's going to happen, it's going to be good? Do you imagine how crazy this seems to someone who saw Reagan get on the airplane and we were plunged into 35 years of darkness? Because everyone in the administration was working against anyone who cared about America. And I mean Bush,
right.
Clinton. I look. I hear this people say, "Oh yeah, Clinton. He was great." He wasn't. He was a poll watcher. He was a psychopath. He was a pervert. He was everything that he was. But he did pay attention to his approval numbers, so we got a little bit out of him. But compared to the Bushes, Clinton looks great. But compared to anybody who actually is America first, Clinton looks like the cipher that he is, and his wife looks worse. So, guys, my head is light on the pillow. I don't wake up in the morning with a feeling of dread. In fact, I don't even listen to Trump's speeches anymore. Why? I already know what he's going to say. He's going to support what we're talking about. You go, man. Hopefully somebody will hear it and go along with it, and it's more likely than not. And when's the last time you could say that?
No, I think you're 100% right. And so leaving Reagan, I wasn't old enough to vote for him. But then you get into Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. This is the first time I feel that, right, I'm not going to wake up to a new war. Now, is there going to be things that happen? And I'm totally comfortable with that. Paul and I talk about us using military might as necessary, but not
As
starting
this,
new wars.
right? And ending wars. That thing in Iran is over. and no one even wants to talk about it, but it's over. It's absolutely over. A ceasefire that holds. What a concept.
Paul, is Iran over, or they
Well,
still got a little gusto left?
so I gotta say, this afternoon, 15 Syrian, whatever you want to call them, brutally murdered
Islamofascists, right?
and
Yeah.
tortured an American uh, guy. He was a contractor, but they caught him outside the wire, and they just absolutely brutally murdered him. And I think Delta, or maybe even uh, a tier 2 team from 101st or something like that, should go out there and cull a herd. Just cull a fucking herd. Absolutely lay waste to all those fucking goat eating, cave dwelling, stupid ass motherfuckers. Just fucking lay waste to them.
So
And do I think that's going to happen? I don't think it is.
well, I don't
Not
know that
this
it
time.
is either. I got a question, Paul. Since we're in that current part of the world, so the Druze, right, versus their arch enemy. I saw that Israel had for a long time said make the Golan Heights bigger, and we'll give you part of where the Druze lives. The Druze, Druze,
Uh-huh.
and they should be part of your culture, not our culture. Is what I was reading today from Netanyahu, basically.
Bibi wants greater Israel. I mean, there's no question what he wants, but the question is, will he get it?
He was willing to give away the Druze. He was
Oh, yeah.
protecting them, but he also said, "I'll trade you. I'll swap you
That
territory
is,
for
that
more
is
Golan Heights."
wrong. Sean, that is wrong think. I got to tell you that spending a lot of my career in the Middle East, that is wrong think. They need Israel, if they're going to step up, they need to just fucking lay waste to all of that. And they have the wherewithal to do it, but they're just so caught up in the politics of it that they're not. The thing of it is, Israel and America are talking about diplomacy, and these fucking guys are goat fucking cave dwellers. They don't they don't
But
dude,
Paul,
they don't have the wherewithal to negotiate. So
but
you
Paul,
just need to fucking make glass out of them and be done with it.
Paul, you don't understand, brother. They've all got iPhones. They're out in the desert and they're watching those videos. And brother, if something insults Mohammed, they're going to bring out the mortars and come in there and start bombing an embassy. No, that we'll get Hillary. We'll get those guys that did that video. Oh yeah, I know that made those parents really happy. What a statesman! What a statesman! Oh God, the land of make
Ah.
believe. No, I wanna send them back to the Stone Age. I'm right there with you. All right, seriously.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I want the leader of the Syrian army uh, to hear an explosion and be like the mayor of Hiroshima and go, "What the fuck was that noise?" And the next thing you know, he's obliterated.
Moab. That's what we need.
Well,
Find where they are.
and so yeah, this thing I saw on the internet, it wasn't from Assad, but it was Israel adjacent. I also thought to myself, because I've been on the internet since the internet, and I was like, this is a distraction. This is just going to get people talking about stuff so that they can go do what they need to do. Netanyahu's been defending that territory against Syria, and so I think this was just a distraction tactic.
Look, I don't love the guy, but you have to admire his verve. All right, the dude knows what he wants, so he's a force to be reckoned with. And unless you're willing to undress him, you're going to have to figure out a way to work with him. That's what you have to do. That doesn't mean you have to be his patsy, but at the same time, part of this fourth turning is going to be that the the world is going to have to learn to deal with the fact that Israel's here and they're staying. That's what's going to happen. So all the rhetoric about greater intifada and all the rest of that, you guys can forget that. Okay, you want to join the Abraham Accords, you want to be civilized, you want to have commerce and all the rest of that. Go right ahead, but you're going to have to stop the nonsense. It's not going to happen. You're not going to get anywhere with it, and you're not going to obliterate or annihilate them. Just turn over the house. I mean, I know you might think I'm sounding like Tel Aviv Levin, but no. I mean, it's reality. The strong survive, and Israel is strong. And let me say this: thank God that they were there when this shit went down, because without those pagers and without what Mossad was doing and the rest of that, we would be involved in a shit show of proportions that are unimaginable at this point. They
Biblical proportion. Yep, no doubt.
Yeah. No, they turned the tide. They did. And you see those movies where, well, Chris Cooper will say to Mel Gibson, the war is turned. No, it turned at 5:36 a.m. It blew those guys nuts off. That was the turning point. You know, Viktor Orban equipped them with pagers that took their nuts off, and they got them from Taiwan or wherever they got. That was one of the most brilliant battlefield master strokes I've ever seen in my life, because those 4,000 or 5,000
Yeah,
guys were supposed to make the
yeah.
difference, and they're either all dead or let's just say sterile.
Eunuch, if they're alive.
Got your nuts blown off. Yeah,
Well, it did. That set the clearest message possible. Is that we're infiltrated into your supply chain. We
right.
knew you were going to make a purchase. We knew the purchase was pagers. We seized the pagers. We put the explosives in the pagers, and then we returned them into your supply chain, and you distributed them to all of your terrorist friends.
To your home address. Yes, that's exactly where we return them. So, in case you're wondering if we know who you are, we do.
They do. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of talk on the internet about LA not being able to handle the Olympics. Trump got a men banned from playing in women's sports, and I thought, well, wait a minute. In LA, can we possibly bring back as a sport women's only roller derby? Because I've gone and seen roller derby live. It's fantastic, and I think it should be Olympic sport. What say you all?
I'm with
It's one of the best sports out there,
Jim Croce. I fell in
no
love
doubt.
with the roller derby queen, meanest hunk of woman that you ever seen down at the arena.
Dude, it's a fun sport. I went and saw it at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, the Pepsi Coliseum. One night, it was like $12 a person. We took the kids. Everyone had a blast. It was so much fun. I hope they make it an Olympic sport. It should be an Olympic sport. Like if you could
I
dance
know.
around on a mat, why can't you watch a bunch of chicks throw each other onto the concrete?
Just not
I
women.
got to tell you, if I wasn't happily married, there are 2 or 3 of my future ex-wives that play roller derby. That there's just no doubt that I would just be fucking, oh hell yeah, baby.
All right, well, another quick one because I haven't had chance with you guys in a while. The Prince of Darkness has passed from Earth. I
Oh,
Yes, no, I like it, don't give a shit. Paul doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
Ozzy,
yeah.
so I gotta tell you, uh, I that really hit home for me because he was the leader of the music that I came to love and follow and carry on. And it was really rough for me when Randy Rhoads died. Randy Rhoads was his guitarist on his early albums and stuff. And I really had this far away love affair with Randy Rhoads because of Ozzy. And now that he's passed, man, it's just terrible. It's just terrible. I mean, and let me tell you, he begat all of the modern. He begat Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana, all of that grunge
Yeah.
had its
No, there's no doubt.
roots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They
Oh,
all of
absolutely.
those guys, the next generation, had their roots in Ozzy.
he
They
was there
really did.
before.
More than Poison, more than all the spandex rock, more than all that other kind of stuff. Those guys that were in the great Northwest that started their bands and stuff were all rooted in Ozzy. And that guy was such a trailblazer. And not to mention, his fucking badass wife stuck with him, for 34, 35 years of all of his shenanigans and bullshit and all that kind of stuff. Man, that dude was just badass. Yeah, I watched a video today of Paul McCartney meeting Ozzy, and Paul McCartney literally wept while he was hugging him and saying he was such a badass. Paul McCartney, of
Mhm.
all people.
Of all
It
people.
was back in the late 60s, early 70s when they met. And it was just, he's that guy. Dude, he's that guy.
I will tell you, around here, the bats are breathing easier. All right. I mean, they're swarming, and then they don't have a care in the world. They realize they're not going to lose their heads. So yeah, yeah, I get it. I mean, he left a mark, no doubt.
he he was the beginning of metal, modern mainstream metal for sure. It, I'll always recognize that. I do not think he was the birther of grunge, which you're talking
No,
about
no,
in the
no. I'm not
90s.
saying that.
But
So,
metal for
yeah,
sure.
I'm not
But like
saying that, John.
Metallica, Slayer, Guns N'
Yeah,
Roses, they were all
Slayer
products.
especially, dude. Yeah,
They were all products.
yep.
Speaking of which, Slash, happy birthday! Slash turned
Yes.
60 today. So
I mean,
that's fun.
if Axel is sentient today, he would acknowledge that Ozzy was important in his path.
Not a single post from Axel on
I
the
think
internet today.
I figured
That
he's on
fat
a bender.
bastard.
Yeah, yeah.
And I gotta tell you, Parkinson's, there's a lot of awful ways to die, but Parkinson's is one of them. And that was really cool of
Yeah.
Ozzy 4 or 5 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was, to strap himself into a Dark Knight throne, and do a concert,
That was awesome.
And do a
for everybody.
concert,
Really awesome.
bro. How badass was that, dude?
It was
No,
cool.
that was an act of extreme courage. I mean, you're not worried about your image or anything. You're just like, hey, I want to share this with you one last time. That's like a spirit of giving. Just fantastic.
Mm,
My youngest son, 82nd Airborne in the Army, I gave him my entire record collection when he was 14. And he's been album guy ever since then. And he called me weeping
Yeah.
about Ozzy dying. He was such a fan, and all of that kind of stuff because I raised him on the music. Sean, you know what I'm talking about. I
Oh yeah.
raised him up on all the music that I listened to, and he was like, "Dad, Ozzy, I don't know what to do." That kind of thing.
You know what, Paul? I'm not going to besmirch his memory by making a comparison, but every day when I got home from school, I'd chase my dad down after he got his nap and make sure he got out his catcher's mitt, and he'd sit on top of a milk carton because he was a little bit younger than I am now. And I'd buzz those fastballs in there, and in my head, I was Bob Gibson, man, the most the most vicious competitor you've ever seen on the mound, bar none. Gibson was lights out. He and when Gibson died, and I heard the news, I I took a piece out of me, man. Honestly, it's like, wait a minute, wait a minute. He's not supposed to die. He's immortal. Come on, he's not
Yeah,
dead. He can't be.
yeah,
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 yeah. That's what this
Well,
is.
and you still
yeah. He's
remember
like
him
Les
from the
Paul.
point of
Yeah, he's like Les
reference of what
Paul. I'm
age
gonna
you
live to
were.
be 150. Yep,
Yeah,
100%,
you remember them from the
dude.
point of reference if I was 20 or I was 33 or I was and they're supposed to like you, yeah, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like in some of them, some celebrities or athletes or musicians, they pass and you're like, "Ah, that's a bummer. That's disappointing." But some of them just hit you and you're like, fuck.
I'm not known as being an apologist
I,
for females. Okay, I know, a big shock. But I do remember when Elvis himself died. Oh, I mean, they were beside themselves. I mean, it was obviously it was a surprise because he was so young. But oh man, just and then all the maudlin stuff at Graceland and everything. I mean, this on this
oh yeah, dude.
same,
It,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. This is in the same zip code as that. I mean, seriously, this guy was it, and now he's gone, and we're all the less for it. Absolutely.
Absolutely,
yeah.
totally agree. We can all pick somebody. It's, and again, some of them you're just like, okay. Some
Yeah.
of them you're just like, that hurts.
What?
That one
Yeah,
hurts, right?
that one hurts.
That yeah, that
Um,
stung a little bit. So Johnny Cash was my second cousin,
There you go.
and
Yeah, that's another one right there. Yeah.
when he died, yeah, dude, there was like so in outside of Waco is Limestone County in a little place called Ben Hur, Texas. And that's where my dad was born,
Uh-huh.
outside of Waco. And there's a bone orchard out there that has 40 or 50 Gant tombstones. And one of them is Horatio Columbus Gant married Rebecca Cash, which was Johnny Cash's aunt.
wow.
So she was Johnny Cash's uh, mother. They were sisters. And so that's why I was uh, a second cousin. And we saw Johnny Cash a couple of times and met him and and all that kind of stuff. But when he died, dude, I that whole Limestone County just
Oh,
mourned and mourned and mourned.
Yikes. Yeah,
you,
I bet.
you can't let it go. It takes a piece out of you. It really does.
It really does.
It does, bro. It really does.
All right, let me steer you guys towards some politics that we may not agree on. Tulsi,
Oh, perish
drops
the thought. Okay, all
drop some more Obama files,
right.
proving yet again that that lying bastard, Russiagate was all him, the entire thing, and then they start dropping names. It's Biden, it's Clapper, it's Comey, it's Hillary Clinton in the dossier. It's and they just go. Tulsi goes on and on and on, and she's just like, "I've turned this over to the Department of Justice for prosecution, but here it is for your own eyes. All the stuff you knew in 2017." You were right. All of you people were right.
All
Here's
of
the
you,
proof.
all of you, all of it. As Trump said, we caught them all. Yes,
Paul,
Paul.
Paul, jump in.
I don't give two shits about any of that. I don't care. That's the past. It's already happened. We all knew in ourselves that it was bullshit. And I don't want to see one motherfucking dollar spent on trying to do some fucking sideways uh, conviction of Obama or Clapper or any of those fucking guys. I don't care. I don't care. Let's fucking move along. We have got so much to fix in our country, so much to go on. I don't want DOJ spending a fucking dime on saying I told you so. I don't give a shit. I just don't give two shits about it. And because it sounds just like the Democrats. That's what they did the whole time Trump 1.0 was in office, and they put all these liberal judges in and all that kind of stuff. I don't give two shits. Everybody knows Obama was a piece of shit. I don't want to convict him. I don't want to spend any money on that. I want to spend money on getting the economy back together, getting the fucking uh, military back to full strength. I don't care about any of this other stuff. It's just bullshit. And that's how I feel about it.
This is where I thought we'd have a disagreement. We're totally fine disagreeing, which is why this show's so great. If you're listening live now, repost it, share it with your friends, drop us a comment. We'll comment back.
Yeah,
I've got
drop
an
a
issue,
comment, dude.
Paul. Listen. I'm tired of the Republican Party not
Oh my God.
holding anybody accountable for anything. And you say, well, I want to move on. That's George Bush thinking. And I can totally understand why the commonality of the internet is all over here on Twitter freaking out that we want some accountability. We want some asses. We want some asses.
What we don't want is for it to happen again.
Right.
And I am unsure how we can ensure that it doesn't happen again without some retribution. Now, no, I don't want to see a circus with Obama arrested or any of the rest of it. I want to see Susan Rice get arrested. I want to see people who executed this, like that chief of staff for Jill Biden. I want to see that guy get arrested, for basically faking the fact that the president was non compos mentis and issuing those executive orders on his own, because that's what he was doing, and there's no question. There has to be a penalty for usurpation of power. That's in the Constitution. When one branch of government usurps the power of another, or when staff usurps the power of those that are elected, there needs to be a price. And I'm not saying we need to have some wholesale show trial, but there needs to be some selective prosecutions of malefactors. So those who think about doing something like this in the future don't think it's worth the risk. And that's why I want to prosecute Fauci. I know we're eventually going to get to the interleukin 15 bio shot, but the fact is there's Fauci again suppressing innovation that can cure cancer because he wants to monetize a flu shot. I mean, this guy is an absolute disgrace, and an example needs to be made out of him. So I want to be selective about it. I don't want it to be a circus, but I actually have
No, I agree.
confidence I actually have confidence that with what I see from Gabbard, that she's measured and direct enough that she can make the case. I mean, when's the last time we've had that? This isn't Trump's bluster. This is this. I mean, this gal is straight, and I mean, she's an old Sanders person for Christ's sake. I
She's a
mean, she
Democrat.
she doesn't want to tolerate government corruption. So this is dear to her, even though I'm sure she and I don't agree on several things. But I'm not going to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. But I want to see some consequences for people who really stepped over the line. And I don't mean Obama. I actually would love to see Mike Pence get prosecuted. I think that would do more than anything else because it would teach Republicans what is the price for controlled opposition. What is the price for going along to get along? Stand on your hind legs, you bastards, and quit selling us out when you're telling us you're representing us. And I mean, they'd let us
But at the
prosecute
end of the
Pence.
day, I'm sorry, I just want to say, but at the end of the day, all of this goes from Tulsi's DNI, which she's done a great job, really has done a great job,
That's awesome.
and she sends it over to the DOJ, and the DOJ gets it, and they start prosecutorial uh, inferences on any of this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, what do you think's going to happen? Nothing. I guarantee you, at the end of the day, there's going to be a censure or there's going to be a sternly worded letter, but there is nobody, including Fauci, including Susan Rice, and those others who were instrumental in that shit. Nothing's going to happen to
Well,
them.
let me
There's no
let me ask this because you're totally right. That has been the norm.
Right.
What if this one time, Clapper, Comey, Brennan, Schiff, they all go down. And now we could get into Obama. It's not going to happen. You and I
No.
talked about Paul this at great length that you're never going to be able to imprison a former president because of Secret Service. We talked
right
about it
and
with
all
Trump.
that
That's
kind of
never going to
shit.
happen.
Yeah,
So all of you
right.
watching this that are going, we're going to get Obama. No, you're never going to get
No, you're not.
Obama.
No.
You're never,
You're
never.
not. Yeah,
The most prized, and I
Comey
mentioned Susan Rice. The scalp I want is Commie Johnny Brenner. That's the guy I want.
and Comey.
And
Oh
call me.
hell yeah! I mean, Comey's his right arm. Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah,
Well, so
and I
Paul,
don't even know
what if
who
we
the
get this one time we finally get to make a correction because we don't have a Republican like Bush who says, "Hey, if they slap you, turn the other
uh,
cheek."
I let me make a suggestion, Paul, and I think you would agree with this. I don't want any hearings. I don't want to hear anything from James Comer. I don't want any of it. I want grand juries impaneled and start taking testimony. There's no reason to even wait. Just do it. Find out what you got. Give us your list of names, and let's move forward if there's something there to do. And I'm not talking about all of them or anything. No, most of them will skate, obviously, but there needs to be examples. It's the same way with Fauci and suppressing the bioshock. I mean, the dude's going to keep killing people if he's allowed to do it. You've got to stop it one time and make the price too high for people to do this in the future. They've got to think when you get an order like that from Obama, should I do
But it,
this? Oh, yeah, I'm a Democrat. Nothing's going to happen. That's what they think. Violate the Constitution? Why not? Who's going to do anything? Republicans are controlled opposition. We own them. That's what they think. And they're right, at least to this point.
but what happens is the committees call these guys to bear and they pull the Fifth Amendment. And what bothers me is that there's no, I don't want to say punishment, but there's no accountability for them pulling the Fifth Amendment. So if we
Paul,
pull a whole bunch of guys before Congress and they testify and they go, on the advisory council, I'm going to plead the Fifth Amendment. Okay, you plead the Fifth Amendment, you go ahead, but we're going to taser you until you decide to talk.
no. I
That's
don't
probably
like. I
the right approach.
You and I have been in total agreement that congressional committee hearings are the most
Useless.
retarded thing on the planet.
Useless.
All they do is give.
Comer is useless. Sorry, just useless.
All they
Jim
do.
Jordan is
All
useless.
these congressional
Useless.
hearings do is give congressmen sound bites for the reelection. What I'm looking for is a few indictments, criminal indictments.
There it is.
Yeah.
That I don't give a shit about what
Nope.
Congress
You get
wants to
those. You
hear.
get those from
I
grand
want
juries.
criminal indictments.
Impanel the
And
grand
I
juries
know
and
it's
start
never
taking
going to be like
testimony.
everybody listening, it's never going to be Obama. Go
No,
F yourself. It's not going to
no
happen.
chance.
But we can take out the people who perpetrated it.
Susan
At
Rice.
least some of them. Just
Yeah.
like to JC's point, to make it stop so we don't do it again when the
Valerie Jarrett.
pendulum swings back and
Valerie
they
Jarrett.
finally have Trump gone, right? And maybe a Democrat's in House again, and then they start this crap all up all over again.
No. Right
It's
now, where we are, Sean, I'm sorry, but right now, where we are is if we lose the next election, they're just going to resume. They're going to hit resume. There hasn't been anything done that's going to stop them. They're still laughing. Now they're feeling a
Well, you
little
know
they're
what they're
feeling a
going to
little
do?
more frightened tonight, but something has to happen. Go ahead.
But JC, you know what they're going to do? They're going to do exactly what Tulsi and those guys are going to do. They're like, oh, Schumer and all those guys are going to go, oh, this was bad. We're going to bring them on just like they did before Trump won. And that's the point of my reference is it's just nothing's going to happen because it's a bunch of fucking bloviating and fucking just saying a bunch of shit and nothing happens. There's no accountability on either side. If we want to really make a change, we, for example, we take James Comey, we run him through the wickets, and then we have somebody say, yeah, we're indicting your ass because we've got plenty of probable cause to think that you've done something wrong.
Paul,
And
we've got volumes of probable cause on James Comey.
yeah,
you
brother, I understand that, but it's just not going to come to fruition, is my argument. And so if it's not, let's just fucking move on, dude.
I
Do you,
frankly,
you know,
I love you, brother, but I think if we just
but
move
you
on,
disagree.
I think we lose the country. Yeah,
Do you really?
yeah. Yeah. I can't see
I
how
mean,
they
if we
wouldn't
don't
just
do anything,
how
do
they
you
wouldn't
think
just resume.
that's
I mean,
worse?
look right now. All of Trump's executive orders are wonderful. I mean, the country is running great. I can look. I've turned into an absolute Trump honk. Like I tell you, I sleep well. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, "Oh, I don't even worry about politics. Who cares? He's got it. All right. And he does. And I mean, look at this. He actually has an outside chance at avoiding this recession with this tariff policy and all the money he's bringing here. We're going to have a little deflation. You know, gas is going down. You know, all the rest of that. All this foreign investment, the tariffs, all the manufacturing jobs that are coming back. I mean, it's just frigging phenomenal what he's doing. You can't even imagine balancing this many balls at one time. I mean, the dude is like
Yeah.
almost superhuman. Okay, but
Yeah, no doubt.
don't
Yeah.
be don't be fooled if they win. If they win, they hit resume and he dies in prison unless something happens. I really think I think they'll throw him right back in there and they'll dare us to do something about it. And because we didn't do it right now when we've got 50 friggin' pages of exactly what you did and we couldn't prosecute any of you? We didn't have the political will to prosecute anyone. We didn't arrest anybody. We just said, "Oh well, we're stopping the drug dealers and all the rest of that. Everybody just go on with your." No, no, we can't do that. We can't. I love you, man, but something has to be done. And I'm not saying it has to be wholesale. That's Obama. That's a pipe dream. Hillary. That's a pipe dream.
No, no,
But
no. I got that. Yeah, I know what you're
but
saying.
people like Susan Rice, Lisa Monaco, the people who
Oh,
executed this, the hatchet people, they need to pay. So the next hatchet people go, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, you know, Barron might run. You know, then I'm screwed. You know, I don't want to sacrifice my future. It's a sentinel effect. That's my point, Paul.
yeah, I got
No,
that. That makes
I,
sense. No, I really
I don't
do.
want
I understand that. Yeah.
I don't
Well, I
want any
think
hearings. I'm so sick of James
I'm with,
Comer.
sorry, JC. I'm with JC on this, Paul, in the fact that we need to at least set some punishment out. It's not going to be Obama. You guys
No,
can all you're morons. It's not even going to be Hillary Clinton, even though they
no.
just dropped a bunch of information on Hillary Clinton. It's never going to be those people.
She's
We
dirty
need,
as sin. Yeah.
but we need at least a reset and say you're not allowed to do this, or you're going to go and spend 7 years in prison with George Santos for doing something bad. Therefore, that people that work for Hillary Clinton or Obama or whoever the next big power player is goes, I probably shouldn't do what they're asking me to do because that's the problem.
Uh, Paul, I'm going to let you go next. I'm sure you'll have a lot to say. But when people stopped resigning when they disagreed with something is when we really went off the path. If you really have a disagreement with what the person says above you and tells you to do and you don't think you should do it, you should resign your position. You should quit your job. You shouldn't just go blindly nod your head like a Nazi and say, I'm just following orders. I'm on autopilot. I've got this great job. I've got this great house. I've got all these benefits. The taxpayers are funding everything. So I'll just hold my nose and do it, even though I know it's wrong because I know nothing will happen because the Republicans are limp dick neoliberal smurfs. Okay? That has to change.
Yes, we want to change the culture. We want to change the culture. We want to know. We want the yes men. Everyone thinks Trump's a dictator, which is hilarious. But we
That's
want the
crazy.
yes men to know that there's consequences to being yes men.
Let me just say this. I told you Evan Sayed said that Trump was the first president of the culture war. He's 80% of the way there. He's winning. He's got he's got the media completely surrounded. Did you ever think anyone could do that? They can't touch him.
Never. Yeah.
It's the most remarkable thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, even the Epstein thing. We're not even going to talk about that, are we? Because it's irrelevant. All right, I want you to think about this. Mark Mitchell, who I the honest pollster, all right? Going on, oh my God, he's clutching his pearls. People are worried about two-tier justice or whatever. He's down 19 points with independents on Epstein. I said, he's about to arrest Obama's entire cabinet. Do you think that's not going to help him recover? Jeffrey who? I mean, have you learned nothing? That Trump can always counter, and it'll always be the most vicious frigging counterpunch that they can't anticipate. It happens every
Well,
time.
let me change it up just a hair. Let me ask. So post Trump, we still have 3.5 years with Trump. Do you guys see
Thank
there
God.
being another Trump style president in the future? Because I don't. I mean, obviously,
JD Vance.
no, I love JD Vance, but you look at the history of presidents, right? You got obviously Washington, who refused to be a king. You have Abraham Lincoln, who got into the fight to end slavery. Notably Reagan, but Reagan again, he did amnesties.
He
Then you have Trump.
made mistakes.
Trump is doing all these amazing things after he's been blocked over and over and over and over by the government. I just don't know if we'll see another one in my lifetime that's Trump.
After the next, Sean, after the next 3.5 years, you aren't going to need a warrior king anymore. Once you've won, you need someone to preside over the peace. The same way that King David won the war and King Solomon presided over the peace. I can't think, Paul, of a more Solomon-like figure than J.D. Vance. I've never heard anybody articulate Trump's principles better than J.D. Vance. You realize 2 years ago he ran for the Senate. He's now the friggin' vice president. That's never happened. It's meteoric. The guy is such an
Yeah.
enormous political talent, and he can vivisect the media without seeming the slightest bit mean. And the girls all fall in love with him. I mean, that's a he's got the blue eyes, you know. I mean, that's a King Solomon type of ruler. And
Yeah,
I
he's got that hillbilly elegy, man. That's very attractive to people.
yeah,
You
it's
know,
awesome.
his mom was a drug addict, his grandma was fucking psycho, and he still came out going to Harvard and all that kind of stuff. That's really great. But my
And
point
it didn't
is,
ruin him.
if
Go
if if I I just got to say, my point is, I think we're going to put in a lot of time, effort into these prosecutions. And because of the way our government is today, that nothing after millions of dollars and convictions, mind you, of these fucking wackadoodles that had ran the place when Biden was in control and Obama. I just think it's a waste of money because I don't think it's just going to work out like the conservatives think it's going to work out. I just think we're going to spend all this time and treasure and money to convict these guys, and they're going to get uh, house arrest for 8 months, or it's just going to just be
Sure,
so fucking diluted that it's just not worth it, man.
I think it's totally okay for you to feel that way, and I think a lot of people do. I got a question, Paul, because we got about 5 minutes left. So
Is there
with
is there an hour in the world that goes faster than this?
no, so
No.
No,
The Epstein bullshit, right? Hold on, they're bringing up, and can you help me with this? They want to bring up grand jury. It's not evidence; it's grand jury, whatever was produced
Testimony.
by. And can you explain to the American people how a grand jury is 1,000% one sided? by the prosecutor and that nobody gets to defend themselves in a grand jury hearing before they get charges.
I mean, you don't even get your own attorney there.
You don't.
No, so JC, let me say that, or Sean, let me say this about that. The fact that you're on an airplane list to go to Epstein Island does not convict you of child molestation. The fact that you went to this bazillionaire's island who has a whole lot more going on than 14-year-old cocksuckers.
Mhm.
And they have cookouts and parties and all this kind of stuff. That does not convict you. And from what I've seen so far, it's all about the fucking flight list. I don't give a shit about the flight list. I want a fucking photograph of Bill Clinton sitting there with his pants down and some fucking
Which
preteen
that's
fucking
what I'm
sucking
asking
his dick.
because
And then,
you've
I'm
been a
about
part of
conviction.
you've been a part of putting evidence in front of grand juries. Grand juries only get the evidence to get the court case. You're not in court. Like you're not in court. You don't get to present counter evidence. You don't have an attorney there. This is my point. So this Trump releasing grand jury evidence, which apparently just got blocked today. Whatever, we'll deal with that later.
Of course. Yeah.
But grand jury evidence is biased to get a grand jury to say yes, you can indict them and put them on trial, or you can charge them. Am I reading that wrong, Paul? You've been in the business.
So,
No,
so let me tell you.
you can indict a ham sandwich. Yeah, I know. I never want to be in front of a
So
grand jury. You got to be kidding. Anyway,
let me tell you something. In 1993, I was on a DEA task force. We did a search warrant on a house that was known to be Jamaican posse. The neighborhood was called the Bullet Hole because so many shots were fired in that neighborhood. We executed the search warrant. I was the first one in. So what you do is you go down and you search each room going. I got all the way to the back bedroom, and there was a guy with a Ruger Red Hawk, a Jamaican guy, and he started shooting at me. So based on my advanced training and being a DEA agent, I returned fire. And I
okay.
shot that fucker, I don't know, 6 or 7 times. He still went out the window and ran to the front yard. And so we had a guy called the dog catcher because a lot of the Jamaican guys would have these pit bulls and they'd train them up to be mean. And you come inside the fence and the dogs would attack you. So we learned after 2 or 3 search warrants that we had to have a dog catcher. And he had a Remington 800 pump. So this fucking guy that I got to tell you, I had second thoughts about if I hit him or not because I kept shooting a fucker. And he went out the window, and I reached out the window, and I kept shooting the fucker. And he got around to the front, and the dog catcher blew his fucking face off, and he died.
That stopped.
Well,
Yeah.
I went before a grand jury. I would never thought in my whole lifetime I would ever go before a grand jury because I was fucking righteous. You know
Well,
what I
yeah.
mean?
You're
I was
enforcing the
the
law.
fucking man bringing drugs under control of South Florida, and I went before a grand jury, and it was the most stressful part of my life ever. And then they came back and said, "No, the shoot was righteous," and I was like, "Jesus Christ!" But
Wow.
you know what I mean? It took all the wind out of my sails. So I know how grand juries work and stuff. I'm just, dude, I know how the legal system works, man.
Mhm.
And I
Or
just
doesn't.
don't
Yeah.
think these guys are going to get their comeuppance. I don't, no matter what we do as conservatives with the DOJ and Pam Bond. By the way, Pam Bondi was the Florida state's attorney when I had my shootout.
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
actually met her after the grand jury, and she shook my hand and she said, "Good job, dude." But
How cool is
uh,
that?
yeah, so two
Alrighties.
things
What?
happened out of that. I didn't. Nothing happened with the grand jury, and I took my 9mm and I threw that motherfucker in Lake Okeechobee, and I bought me a 45. And the rest of my law enforcement career, I took a 45 because I'm not shooting a motherfucker 7 times, and he's still
Yeah.
gonna run away from me.
Paul, Springfield 1911, baby. There you go.
All right, we'll
Fucking
talk
A,
about
Bubba.
that next time. We hit
Yeah.
the hour. We gotta go. We gotta go. I appreciate both JC and
It's just
Paul for
there's
joining
never
us.
there's
Hey, listen,
never enough time.
we could do it again Friday. Check it out.
Good.
And you
I
guys
Love y'all, boys.
thank you so much.
Love you, boys. See ya.
Enjoy having fun. All right.
I think the stuff might be up on Friday, and we could rip it on him non-stop for 3 hours.
Oh, I'd love to kick his ass for an hour.
I'll tell you the story about the conversation I had with my neighbor. You'll like it on Friday.